Look what monster's in the Monstergram. Hey everyone, it's Armor Gaming. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a Monster Legends sneak peek video. So this is an interesting kind of video because we already have Rotten in the Monstergram. Normally we don't see this monster and the stats before the monster sheet comes out. So I imagine in the next day or two we are going to see a monster sheet for Rotten, so that's going to be pretty cool. But I wanted just to talk about his skills because those are leaked and essentially the stats and the traits. So we have a really good idea of how good this monster is going to be. Now, of course, until this monster is officially released, the skills can change and then we still don't know the cooldowns or the stamina cost of any of the skills. But with that being said, if we look at this monster's power, you have 7392, and that is actually the lowest power tied with Ignis. So of all the cosmics right now, he's not a strong monster. His life stat, however, 74,796, this is actually the highest second stat tied with Slugazoid. The only monster to have a higher life stat would be Hardy and Bombeta with a life stat of 77,210. So around 3k higher. And then we have a speed stat of 5918. And that's interesting because when you look at this monster, you would think he's kind of slow, looks kind of like a dead zombie kind of monster. But that speed stat is actually pretty fast. There are only two monsters faster right now. Ignis, the team race monster with 5984, and Slugazoid with 5951. So this is officially the third fastest monster. And then when we look at his trait, he's immune to freeze. That's honestly, there's no real monster that freezes right now. I mean, yeah, we have Slugazoid, he has a 50% chance to freeze skill. And then even in the Mythic era, we have Abysmus, he's literally the only freeze monster. So right now in this time and space, immunity to freeze doesn't really protect you too much. You have immunity to ignite and burn, which immunity to torture I'm not a fan of. I would rather prefer just a hardened trait, something that gives you a 20% chance to not get hit with any negative effect. But then the interesting we have here is the damage protection. We see this on Erder, right? You block 50% of incoming damage. So basically you can double the life of the monster, right? Because if you're blocking 50% of the damage, it takes twice the firepower to be able to knock out this monster. Think of it this way. If you have 100k life, if you only take 50% of the damage, if a monster could deal literally 100k damage, they would only deal 50k damage. So they need to pack double the punch to take you down. So that Status Caster 3 is really strong. It really helps you stay alive. And so with that being said, let's take a look at his skill set. So here we have this, and again, this is still unofficial, it's not confirmed, but usually these skills do end up being somewhat right. You know, we have the example of Slugazoid. That one didn't come out as everyone had expected, but let's just go on with that. So we have Life Collector, deals moderate earth damage. Oh, that's right, this is a cosmic earth monster. Deals low earth damage, applies nightmares to all enemies, applies a shield to itself, which blocks 50% of damage received. So this is a way to redo the damage protection, or if you're not ring 3, to apply damage protection for the first time. And you also heal by 50%, so that's a pretty nice skill. Coffin not locked. We have Resurrects one ally with 1% life, applies Sunburn to itself, so to yourself, Rotten will get Sunburn, and you give an extra turn to yourself. So we have an extra turn skill, a very unique extra turn skill. Normally when you resurrect a monster, that monster gets the extra turn, right? We've seen it a lot with a lot of resurrection monsters. But with this monster in particular, you're going to revive someone with 1% HP, and then you are going to sunburn yourself, which means your accuracy is reduced, and you're going to take 15% of damage. I believe that's how much sunburn does. And then you are giving yourself an extra turn, which means you can follow up with something. Okay, let's see what you can potentially follow up with. Never Enough removes all negative effects from allies. I love this. Anytime a monster has a cleansing skill, a negative effect removal for your team, that is amazing. So Never Enough, I am really liking this skill right now. Little Succubus removes positive effects from one enemy. I love that too. Anytime you can remove a positive effect from the enemy, it's awesome, especially considering these monsters are all having status casters. You can look back at the Mythic era. Everyone at rank 3 at least is like status caster, cooldown protection, status caster evasion, status caster stun immunity, status caster stamina regen, status caster this, that. Oh my gosh, it's so annoying. Everyone has a status caster. Man, okay, with that being said, removes positive effects from one enemy, deals heavy earth damage, and applies nightmares. So I do like the positive effect removal. This monster is not an attacker, however, but he is there just to, you know, the way I see it is like maybe Zorky gives triple damage to an enemy monster. Maybe you're fighting a Hardy. Hardy has stamina regen. Maybe he does his space-time double damage skill, and then bloop, positive effect removed. So, you know, I like those kinds of skills. The Nightmares, it doesn't do too much, 10% stamina removal and some damage. Heavy Earth damage, again, not an attacker, so he's not really going to be packing that much of a heavy punch. Oh, this is funny. Elf 5, so it's kind of like Miseris' 0 skill. Resurrects one ally with 100% life. Okay, so with Miseris, you resurrect with evasion. With this monster, you just resurrect like full life. So you have two resurrection skills. We have one that resurrects with 1% life. Oh, now that we've read some more skills, we can go back to this. But let's finish off. But yeah, resurrects with 1 life for 100% life. I wonder what the cooldowns on these are going to be, especially the extra turn skill. We have Mud Realm. Applies a shield to all allies, which absorbs 50% of damage received, so your whole team gets damage protection. So this is almost equivalent, like double. This is better. This is almost equivalent to giving your whole team double life. But the reason it's better is because if you get hit with the DOT, you're essentially cutting that TLC damage in half. Whereas if you were to give your team double life, the percentage would still be the same. So damage protection is very nice. Applies immune to control. Wow, that's nice. And applies life regen to allies. So that control immunity is going to be really good moving forward. Keep in mind, I mentioned this monster is the 3rd fastest. He's faster than Black Feather. Black Feather is our deny monster, right? Black Feather is our AoE possession, and he can't remove positive effects. So if you're talking same level, the enemy has a Black Feather, you have Rotten, same speed runes, you go first, your whole team gets protection. What is Black Feather going to do? Nothing, because he relies on possession, right? Unless he's doing Flying Spirit and relying on the anticipation teammates, which is not always going to happen. So that's actually pretty cool. So any monster that has stun or freezing skills, as long as you're faster, you can have this monster actually 3 speed him, have him go first, and just apply that immunity control right off the bat. You have the life regen, and you also have the damage protection. This is awesome. Mud Realm is such a great skill. So we have Mud Realm, we have Never Enough to remove negative effects, and we have, let's see, the Nightmare's positive. Honestly, so looking through the skills, if you were to do Soul of the Apprentice, I can see you resurrecting an ally. You give yourself an immediate extra turn. Immediately, you could go with the heal, right? You would go with the... Wait, you don't have a skill that heals allies. If anything, you have life regen, but if your monster doesn't go next in the turn order, your monster's gonna... He can easily get OTK'd, right? This is like Hardy. Hardy would love to fight this monster because if you have Rotten and you do the Soul of the Apprentice skill, you're going to resurrect a monster with 1% HP. Rotten is going to take damage from Sunburn. Hardy Anticipation kicks in, and then Hardy can do an AoE, kill the monster you just resurrected, and damage your Rotten. Probably apply Curse. Now you have Curse and Sunburn. Oh my gosh, that is a nightmare. So I'm not a big fan of this skill. I don't even like when Resurrection doesn't give something else. Like, at least Misery's gives evasion. At least Lonrad gives an immediate extra turn. I'm not a big fan of the Team Revival skill on Lonrad because it always messes with the turn order. You don't even know what's going to happen. How's that going to affect anything? So, with this monster right now, I'm seeing him... You can potentially run him one of 2 ways. I do like that he has a self-healing skill, but I actually don't think you would even run that. I honestly think the best skill set for this monster is Never Enough, which removes negative effects from your team. Little Succubus, which removes 1 positive effect from the enemy monster. The single resurrection skill, and this skill that gives your team a total life, a damage protection, immunity to control, and life regen. And the way you would ruin this monster is 3 speed. If you need to counter Deny monster, right, he has one of the fastest speeds right now. He's faster than the mythic monsters. So if you're thinking like any other monster that relies on stun, you know, Tremor comes to mind. Who else comes to mind? Moonhaze comes to mind. Moonhaze does possession and stun and mega stun. So any monster that relies on Deny, Ryan can go first and just start the game off with immunity to control, and your teammates are good, they're free to attack. And on top of that, you take less damage and they get life regen. And then when you need a cleanse, you go ahead and do Never Enough to cleanse. When you need to remove something from an enemy monster, you have that positive effect removal, and if someone dies, you can resurrect, and you're pretty fast. So it's not like you're waiting for... Like usually when we have revival monsters, they typically run maybe 1 life rune, maybe team speed, usually team speed. With this monster, if you're countering Deny, if you're countering Stun, Possession, Freeze, you can have him go first, and because he's fast, the chance of actually resurrecting, pulling it off is awesome. So I'm actually kind of digging that. But of course, you could also go the team speed route, have him support your main Deny monster, so your main Deny monster can go and Deny, and then you have this monster go last, cleanse when he needs to. Actually, he would probably go before your attacker. So if your attacker got hit with, like, let's say you're fighting an alien, you get Sunburn, Daze, all that negative effect, Never Enough, and that's all cleanse, and your attacker's free to attack. So yeah, I think I would run those 4 skills I have highlighted. Not the biggest fan of Soul of the Apprentice. I would test it out, but not a big fan. If you are running this monster more as a pure resurrection monster, then you could probably put in that 50% heal skill, because you will need some sort of healing. Especially, like, I don't think that life regen is enough. I think having that immediate 50% and blocking is nice. But yeah, those 4 skills I mentioned could work on a 3-speed or a team speed holder Rotten. Let's see what else. Deals moderate special, applies Nightmare, Send Sunburn. Not a crazy alt. So I don't know how I feel about him. Part of me wants to like him, but at the same time, I don't feel like he's going to replace like a Lonrad. I think Lonrad's skill set... Actually, skill set wise, they can both remove negative effects. They can both remove a single positive effect from the enemy. They both have resurrection skills. But Lonrad, resurrection, extra turn is better unless there's anticipation. I don't know. Looking at the skill set, at least what I have highlighted, it is it is decent enough to use, I would say. I wonder if he's going to be the go-to resurrection monster, or if we're just going to wait for another one. I think the biggest place he's lacking is where we've seen the traits, right? He's susceptible to getting possessed. He's susceptible to getting stunned. So that's his issue. So again, unless you're faster and you can do Mud Realm right off the bat, he might be a little lacking. So, you know, we're just going to wait and see how he actually is. With that being said, let's see what else we have in the game. We have, let's see, I think we have, this is currently going on, the breeding event is going on. So the Kralik Nightingale, I believe that passed already. Daedalus, this is what I'm waiting for. So definitely go for Daedalus. Yes, we have a new Megaton monster. Yes, we have Bomb Beta, but you still want to get Daedalus for those wars where you can't use Bomb Beta, right? You want Daedalus, you want him at ring 3, you want another Status Caster Megaton monster. Relic Breeding Event, Relic, you don't need to participate in this too much, I think. If you do want to go for Wang or Chingling, but yeah, you don't really need to participate in that. Top Monster Breeding Events, this one is cool because if you are successful, you can get Black Feather cells, and even if you fail, you get 2 cells for Black Feather. So this could help you with ranking. I don't think, even if you aren't able to get Black Feathers from the Black Feathers Tail event, you know, if at most you get 50 cells, I don't think you're going to be able to get the cells you need by doing a lot of breedings. That'll be way too expensive. Like, you would need 20, no, you get 5. If you needed 50, you would need 10 successful breedings in a row to get it. Nah, that's expensive. But here, I would say right here, best combo right here. Nikasha Hornet and Metafusion, oh, these two are really good. So if you want Nikasha Hornet, Metafusion, Hukuai, these are the combos to do. Griffin and Vada Magma, you can replace Vada Magma with Galante, or you can do Virtue and Galante and Conklin, or Virtue and Galante Jr. Let's see what else we have. So Vanoss 2099 is getting a new relic. Let's see, a brand new diamond relic that will go perfectly with the skills. Does the relic pierce? In your journey, or does it counter pierce? Find his rewards, silver, gold, blah, blah, blah. Let's see what it says. I don't know if the information is out on what that does yet, so we'll see it soon. Slugazoid breeding event. There are 2 monsters, and lots of Slugazoid cells up for grabs. Lord Moltres is always used in events. If you haven't picked him up, try to find a way to pick him up some way in the game. Or Erdicates, Voltic, or Violet, and you get Polaris Sea, the Starfish. Alright, for every successful result, you'll get 10 Slugazoid cells. And if you're unlucky, you still get 5. Cool, cool. Let's see. We have a legendary Privateer Morgan challenge, Baron Trader challenge, another legendary, Tremor and Aromel. Very nice. I have both of these monsters. By the way, if these mini mazes don't appear for you, that is because you do not have the monsters. They will only appear if you have the monsters. That being said, I got lucky and got Aromel in a birthday chest. But who do I want to go for? Tremor or Aromel? I would love to rank up Aromel, but then Tremor being my nature denier, I don't know. Guess I gotta decide that eventually. Do we have anything else going on? Let's see. I believe this passed, this passed, this passed. Oh, here it is, the shield. When the turn starts, gives an armor of whatever percentage points to the wearer, 2 uses. When the turn starts, if the wearer's life is above 50%, increases the wearer's power. Okay, so this can be a way to make your monsters that can hold the armor relic even stronger. So long as their life is above 50%, their power is going to increase. Ooh, so it's kind of like maybe Laser Beam. Laser Beam Sword increases power at the start of the battle. This, you gotta wait for your monster. Well, I guess when they go, right? You gotta wait for your monster to go. You know, yeah, Laser Beam is at the start of the battle. For this one, you're gonna have to wait for your monster to go. And fortunately, you get armor at the start, so you'll likely will be above 50% when it's your turn to go. So that'll be interesting. Race breeding. Are we already getting the next race? Taiga and Vada Magma, Flamirion or Talica. Every time you get a level 5 rune. I really wish they would do like level 6 runes. I feel like those are needed more. And we have a confirmation of the El Colossal event. Once again, this is a sneak peek, not official information. Welcome to the Crazies breeding event, El Colossal edition. Okay, so lots of light monster available. Wormlad, for those of you that want to pick up Wormlad, he's going to be available. Not to mention the light nemesis Lum. Social Point already gave one out, but they are giving out another one. Alright, cool, cool. Let's see. The light monster is going to be on sale. And during the end of the blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. So I think that is it in terms of information, sneak peek. Really want to talk about Rotten, so I'm really curious to hear what you guys have to say. Let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think about Rotten? Overall, he's not a bad monster. He's a supportive monster to me. His skill set is definitely on the good end, I would say. And just the fact that he's actually fast, even though he doesn't look it, the fact that he is currently the 3rd fastest monster in the game and can give your team immunity to control is pretty awesome. His obvious counter, once again, is Hardy if you're running that extra turn skill, that revival extra turn skill. And also, Ignis being able to remove positive effects from the team. Ignis counters this monster in that immunity to control, but it would really depend on the dynamic of your team. If you have Ignis going first in the turn order, and he, I don't know, does a positive effect cleanse or negative effect cleanse, whatever, then you set up your immunity to control and you're fine. So it's just really going to depend on the kind of situation you find yourself in. Typically, I think he's going to be a team speed holder, especially later on in the game, but right now there are arguments to make him 3 speed. He obviously can't counter CDA unless his skills end up being 0 cooldown. So right now I see him as a 3 speeder, team speed, but we will have more information soon enough, I imagine. And with that being said, guys, that is going to be it for the sneak peek. Thank you guys very much. Let me know what you guys think about Rotten or anything else coming up in the event. Thank you very much, and I will see you all next time. Remember to subscribe.